Please tell us about yourself.
Yes, sir. So my full name is Saurabh Sharma. I was born and brought up in Cochin City, that is Kota City in Rajasthan, which has grown to become a major hub of coaching centers and students aspiring for various economics competitive exams. Thus, IIT JEE was a very natural option for me. I prepared and landed up in IIT Kanpur, from where I pursued my graduation and post-graduation degree in economics. So in my final year, I started preparing for a Depr Grade B exam, which offers direct practical use of my existing economics knowledge. So I prepared, but unfortunately could not succeed. This is my second attempt. And simultaneously, I'm also working as associate data scientist in Optum Global Solutions. And usually in my free time, I love to read books and staying connected to friends. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so what are the papers you studied in the final semester of master's degree?
Master's degree, sir, there are few courses of economics like behavioral economics that I could remember. One was the other courses was from other departments like artificial intelligence, because I did minors in artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So these two courses and the thesis work was there.
Do you have any idea about LSTM models?
Sorry, sir.
LSTM?
Sorry, sir.
Long short memory, long short term memory models. It is used in stock pricing predictions using machine learning or a deep learning models.
Sorry, sir, I could not recall exactly.
Okay. And do you have any idea about support vector machine? Have you heard about support vector machine or support vector regression analysis?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have heard that. Sir, these are tools for supervised learning techniques, basically. So actually, when we get a labeled data, so support vectors are basically two draws a plane which are a d distance apart from the data that we have, and these planes basically segregate the data, and we can optimize these planes and divide the data as per our requirements.
You try to optimize this epsilon tube.
Yes, sir.
Which is the error tube, and you try to optimize that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So support vector machine or support vector regression is based on the theory of separating hyperplane.
Yes, sir.
What is that theory of separating hyperplane?
Sir, basically it divides the plane into two different segments.
Why only two different segments? It can be n number of planes.
Yes, sir. If the need is such, then it can be. But the very basics SVMs, support vector machines, it divides the planes into two planes, and it can be increased to n if the need arises.
How do you define a stationarity of a time series in time series data? Or
so sorry, I have not revised that portion of the matrix.
Okay. Can you tell me the difference between causation, correlation, right, and co-integration?
Okay.
Correlation, causation, and co-integration.
Yes, sir. Sir, causation is when one variable tends to cause the other variable. When one parameter leads to the other, that is causation. But correlation always doesn't mean causation. Correlation is just the simultaneous happening of two events or two parameters, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there is causation between the two. Sir, I am not very sure about the co-integration.
Okay. Okay. Please tell us about the RBI's instruments of control, that is the quantitative and qualitative controls.
Sir, quantitative and qualitative. So please allow me a few moments.
Yes, sure.
Sir, I can think of few instruments, but I think they all are quantitative in terms.
Please tell us quantitative.
So, sir, there the various instruments like policy rate, repo rate, which RBI uses to change the to control the amount of money supply and credit availability in the economy. The other measures like CRR and SLR. It also controls the amount of money available with the bank and moderates the credit availability. So other indicators or other quantitative measures or instruments is MSF, marginal standing facility, and SDF, standing deposit facility rates. These again are the tools to change and control the amount of money available with the bank.
And what is the open market operations?
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir, open market operations, these are various tools to that RBI does to infuse or absorb the amount of money from the banking system.
How does it exactly do through open market operations?
Sir, when RBI has to take the money or absorb the money out of the economy, so it sells out the bonds, government bonds, and when people buy those bonds, so they actually give the money, lend the money to the banking system, and it comes out of the economy. Or the other ways around is when RBI takes the bonds, buy the bonds, then it gives the money out in the economy. So these are the two ways.
What is repo rate?
Sir, repo rate is the rate at which RBI lends the money to the commercial banks. The rate that it charges while lending to the commercial banks.
The rate at which RBI lends money to the commercial.
Yes, sir.
Then what is reverse repo rate?
Sir, it is the rate at which commercial banks deposits the money to the Reserve Bank, the extra money that they have, and the return, the interest that they get on that deposited amount.
That means the rate at which it accepts
the deposits. Yes, sir.
Then what is bank rate?
So bank rate is the rate at which banks lends the deposits or accept the deposits with each other. The interbank rate is the bank rate at which banks interchange funds within themselves, and it is of short period and overnight period.
Or is it the repo rate which is a short-term lending rate and bank rate is the long-term lending?
So repo rate is also short-term rate, but it is between RBI and the commercial banks, and bank rate is within the banks.
Bank rate is within the banks?
Yes, sir. This is what I can recall.
Okay. What is? Have you heard about the Keynes theory? Keynes demand theory and classical demand theory?
Yes, sir.
If I ask you, what is the difference between the Keynesian demand function and classical demand function for money?
For money, okay. Sir, starting with the classical case, classical theory considers only transaction motive of money, that money is needed only for transaction purposes, while the Keynesian theory believes that money is not only needed for transaction purpose, but it is also required for the speculative purposes. So,
what are the three motives?
Sir, the transaction motive, the precautionary motive, the money needed to meet the uncertain requirements, and third is the speculative motive, that money held in anticipation of the fall in interest.
So how do you write the function in functional form?
So please allow me a few moments. Sir, the demand of money is a function of the function of wealth.
Wealth or income? वेल्थ का तो कहीं जिक्र नहीं है डिमांड फंक्शन में.
Yes, sir, income. But actually the Friedman's version, the later on.
So the transaction MB is equal to PT. Then again the transaction is converted into income only, nominal income.
Right, sir. Yes, sir. The function of income and the bond prices, interest rate, and the expected inflation rate.
Not income.
Yes, sir, income. Starting with income.
So simply that MD is a function of Y in case of a classical, and MD is a function of Y and R in case of
Keynesian. Right, sir.
And how do you define liquidity trap, and what is liquidity trap actually?
So liquidity trap refers to the situation where interest rate becomes too low that people speculate it to rise in near future, and they hold whatever amount of money would be given to them in the form of cash, and they would not spend it to buy bonds. So actually the expansionary monetary policies doesn't work in this case, and the fiscal policy has to be applied to take the economy out of this situation.
Okay. Have you heard about the Mundell-Fleming model?
Yes, sir.
When the fiscal and monetary policy is effective under different exchange rate regime?
Sir, under fixed exchange rate systems, monetary policy doesn't work if the capital is fully mobile. In that case, fiscal policy has to be used. If the exchange rate is flexible, then monetary policy is fine according to the Mundell-Fleming model.
Okay, thank you. Sir?
You are preparing for RBI grade B.
Yes, sir.
Have you gone through the website of RBI?
Yes, sir, I have.
When?
Sir, a couple of days back when the latest November bulletin came out. So I was going through it.
What are the important publications of RBI?
Sir, RBI publishes many important publications. Some are annual, some are half-yearly, bi-monthly and monthly as well. Sir, annual reports include the report on trends and progress of banking in India. It is an annual report. The Handbook of Statistics is also an annual report which got published the last month. The half-yearly reports are the monetary policy report and report on fiscal stability, and monthly reports are the bulletin reports which come out every year.
And report on currency and finance?
Yes, sir, it is also one of the publications.
What is the frequency of this publication?
Sorry, sir, not very sure of that.
We have not seen it.
Sir, I have seen, but I cannot recall what exactly is the frequency of that publication.
So the annual publication, what are its important components, contents? What are the important variables on which the RBI publishes that report?
Sir, I'm not very exactly sure, but I would be guessing the variables, and sir, some of the variables
Guess to nahi chalega na. Guess to RBI. You are going to join Reserve Bank of India.
Right, sir.
So how your work will be done on the basis of guesswork?
Right, sir. But I'm pretty much sure that the important variables, economic variables, would be one that report would contain, like the growth and the inflation statistics, the exchange rates, the financial and fiscal stability, debt to GDP ratios, and fiscal deficit targets. So I think the report would definitely contain those.
Are you aware of the concept of inflation?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is inflation?
Sir, inflation is the increase in general prices of the market goods and consumable goods.
Only consumable goods. What are different types of inflation from the point of view of measurement?
So there are two types. One is consumer inflation is calculated at the retail level, which is measured in terms of consumer price index, the indicator, and the second one is at the wholesale level, the wholesale price index, WPI. So these two types of indicators.
So from the point of view of RBI, which of these two inflation are of more concern?
Sir, I think both of the metrics are of equally importance from the point of view of RBI.
Why?
Because, sir, because it is one of the mandate with which RBI is bound to have the inflation target levels to have an inflation at
What
its
is the
stable.
relationship between these two types of inflation, WPI and CPI? Is there any relationship between the two, or they are independent of each other?
Sir, they are not exhaustive and independent, because the general prices tends to move together and in a cordial way. If the prices at wholesale level are increasing, then it would
What do
definitely.
you mean by cordial way?
So it tends to move together.
Exactly, proportionately.
Not exactly, but they tends to move together. If the prices at wholesale level are increasing, then definitely it would trigger down at the retail level.
What
And
is global inflation?
Sir, the prices are on an increasing trend at a global level, and of all the commodities, majorly including oil and gold.
So are the global inflation and domestic inflation related, or they are again independent of each other? Particularly in case of Indian economy.
I think, sir, that depends on the product, because if product is such that we are importing and using it in our manufacturing industries, then the rise of prices of that product in the external market increases the cost of production in our domestic market, and later on it increases the price of selling price of that product. But if the product is such that we are not using it in our economy, then we can use it at our advantage, that we can sell that product at lower cost and it would increase the exports.
Have you heard about VRRR?
Sorry, sir.
VRRR, variable reverse repo rate.
Sorry, sir, I could not recall that.
What was the course content in your MSc at IIT Kanpur?
Sir, as I
asked him.
mentioned, it included a course on economics, like I did on behavioral economics, and a course from other department, computer science, AI applications, artificial intelligence.
Specifically economics. What were the papers that you studied there? Only behavioral economics.
Sir, this was in the final year, but we started like in the first and second year, the basic micro and macro courses, industrial, international courses on game theory. Sir, the content was containing all of the core
Have you
courses.
heard about high-powered money?
Yes, sir, I have heard that. Sir, high-powered money is denoted by M0, and it is the money with the banks. Sorry, sir, I could not exactly recall.
Okay, okay. Your formal interview is over.
Okay, sir, thank you.
What is your opinion about your today's presentation? How do you feel? How it was?
नहीं Saurabh, it's formal interview is over. We just.
What is your opinion?
Sir, I think interview is fine, but I think I need to revise a lot of concepts that I could not recall right now, like the macro and the monetary aggregates, this last question. So I need to revise the core economic.
When is your interview?
So the dates are not yet released.
So have you gone through your DAF
Yes, sir.
carefully?
In fact, this was the only thing that I had prepared, but not the core courses and the.
No issue. Generally, it happens actually, but it's good that you have prepared from your DAF.
So how are you preparing for your interview? What strategy have you adopted?
Sir, I think as I have read in the news and in the past receipts of that interviews, that what questions they are asking.
This is your first interview?
This is my second attempt, but first interview.
First
right?
interview.
So I am preparing like the RBI website, the speeches that they contain and the reports that they release. So I'll be reading them, and I'll be revising the courses like macro and international open market. So these I have not revised. I'll be focusing on them.
You are writing all the time in your data analyst, so actually little bit of econometrics you must please revise.
Definitely time series and all. This I have not revised. I'll be revising.
Yes, because.
Since your educational background is very good, you are from IIT Kanpur.
Yes, sir.
You have qualified the written examination.
Yes, sir.
So expectation from you should be commensurate with your qualification as mentioned in your DAF.
Right, sir.
So first thing you should do is revise your basics, particularly the post content of the RBI mains examination.
Okay, sir. Right.
Some of the questions asked by me and by sir also, they pertain to very basic concepts. You are expected to know those things.
Right, sir.
So go through it, revise it, and there is no doubt that you possess the adequate amount of the quality, adequate amount of the knowledge to become an RBI grade B officer, because you have already qualified the written examination. But you need to revise it for your personality test, for your interview.
Sure.
Which newspaper are you reading?
Sir, Mint.
Mint. And add another newspaper, if possible, the Hindu.
Okay, sir.
For current events, both domestic and global economic events, you should go through it, brush up your knowledge about it. Prepare at least 50-60 questions, including your DAP and the syllabus. Main syllabus.
Saurabh had prepared all from the DAF only, it seems.
नहीं थोड़ा बहुत को मिला करके 50-60 क्वेश्चन आप प्रिपेयर कर लो.
Right. No, overall presentation is okay. Your personality wise is you are smiling. In that front, there is no. You don't.
Question answer तैयार करना पड़ेगा.
Yes.
Brief answer.
And this.
Okay. Sir, was my voice clear?
Yes, voice is clear and your articulation is also okay.
Everything is rest.
Whatever you knew, you articulated well, you answered in a very cool manner. But only thing is that probably you have not brushed up your basics. So.
I could not spend time on this.
Yes, and because from say when you are writing data analyst and all the time, so it seems that you should have at least some knowledge on, say, econometrics, and it is expected, right?
Okay.
Simple terms.
So, right, one is the current happenings and one is the core courses that are there.
ये करके आप आफ्टर 10 or 12 days 2 वीक के आसपास 2 वीक को लग जाएगा आपका सारा रिवाइज करना.
हाँ, right, sir.
करके you reappear and we are hopeful that things will improve. And
right, sir, I will definitely reappear. Okay, sir. Sir, if I may know about your background, if it is okay.
Okay, yes, I am Professor Nand Kumar, Delhi Technological University.
Okay, sir. And
I said Professor Nand Singh from Delhi University.
okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, okay, anything more?
If you want to ask us,
from your side, feedback.
we have said okay. Yes. You have a pleasant personality. There is no lacuna on that part. Her face is smiling. You are not tense. That's very good. Only thing is just brush up your. And obviously you have a confidence, you have a qualified written, it's a personality test, you know about things. The only thing, but you see, it's just like a X factor. You know about X factor in management. Like for example, if you have a bathroom, then it doesn't matter. But suppose say this institution, entire building does not have this washroom.
Right.
So if it has a washroom, it doesn't matter. But if it does not have,
then it might.
So similar is the position. If you know, it is expected. But if you do not know the basics,
right.
So
I got your point.
You got it. Yes.
Thank you so much.
RBI website, उसका publication, उसका roughly contents आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. You are going to join RBI.
Right. Okay.
वो बहुत important है.
Right.
ठीक है?
Sir, and they asked one question like I'm asking, got to hear from students कि वो जो उसका logo होता है, it has a tiger and that palm tree. So what does it signify? So I'm not very sure कि उसमें क्या answer देना होगा.
मिल जाएगा कोई बात नहीं.
ये सब रेयर क्वेश्चन ऐसे जनरली पूछते नहीं है जनरली.
वो आपका आरबीआई ऑफिसर बनाने और बिगाड़ने में
कोई रोल नहीं है.
आपने और भी कहीं दिया है मो इसके पास?
नहीं सर, दिस वाज माय फर्स्ट.
आप तैयार पे आप हो जाएगा.
ठीक है सर. ओके, थैंक यू.